WWE's long-term plan for the ultimate match between Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns may have been possibly revealed. Speaking of WWE, two targets have been now revealed that could mean that the unofficial hiring freeze in WWE is now over. What is the main focus of WWE officials when it comes to the attention of Raw and SmackDown right now? We'll talk about that. Plus, two participants in the upcoming men's Money in the Bank ladder match could have possibly been revealed according to reports. BRON Breakker, how close is he to a call up to the WWE main roster? Sami Zayn arrives in Saudi Arabia ahead of Night of Champions this weekend. HBK Shawn Michaels talks about the impact of Grayson Waller moving up to the main roster. Could a secondary NXT Women's Championship be coming soon to the developmental brand? Shawn Michaels also comments on the dyad after they recently requested their release, which of course was denied by WWE. Plus, The Undertaker. Several shows have been announced in the United Kingdom for his One Dead Man show. Hey guys, welcome back to Wrestling News 365. Hope everyone is doing very well. As always, there are plenty of news stories to get into in the world of World Wrestling Entertainment. Let's start off talking about plans for the future when it comes to Roman Reigns and Cody Rhodes. Now, WWE's long-term plan for what is being considered the ultimate destination match, I don't know if that's going to be a tagline for this one, but certainly the long-term plan for this has been revealed in a recent report. With the lead up to the main event of WrestleMania 39, seeing Cody Rhodes wanting to finish the story, his loss to Roman Reigns came as something of a shock to some fans. Triple H would say that the story never finishes, and that certainly appears to be the case for Rhodes and Reigns when it comes to future plans. According to Dave Meltzer in the current Wrestling Observer newsletter, quote, "As far as long-term goes, Reigns versus Rhodes is the long-term direction for the ultimate destination match. WrestleMania is a strong possibility, but this far out, there are so many things that can happen." It had been recently reported, it must be said, that early discussions had suggested that Cody Rhodes versus Gunther could be taking place next year at WrestleMania 40 as the Raw main event for the show. An earlier report had also stated that Rhodes versus Reigns was also in discussion for the same event that takes place in Philadelphia in 2024. In the meantime, however, Cody Rhodes will face the Beast Brock Lesnar at Night of Champions on Saturday, May 27. That being tomorrow, we will have a live watch along and a live post show, so be sure to join us here at Wrestling News 365. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right hand corner, and let me know your thoughts about this. Roman Reigns versus Cody Rhodes is the ultimate destination match right now in WWE. Is that the right direction? Should Cody Rhodes have won at WrestleMania, and should they have already be going in different directions? Let me know your thoughts as always in the comment section below. I'm sure you will. Now, one story this year in WWE, of course, has been this hiring freeze that's taken place. Of course, we know Endeavor have acquired WWE. There's going to be the merger between WWE and UFC later on this year that will be completed. TKO is going to be the name of the company. Now, an update has emerged on WWE interest in two stars following potential changes to the company's hiring status. While an unofficial hiring freeze has reportedly kept WWE from hiring some top names when they became free agents this year, it has recently been indicated that the hiring freeze may now be over, or certainly could be over very soon. This, of course, has led to speculation about who the company could hire next and who WWE are interested in bringing in. Per Dave Meltzer in the latest edition of the Wrestling Observer newsletter, there has been a lot of talk within WWE about MLW's Richard Holliday and New Japan Pro Wrestling star TAMA Tonga. Meltzer notes, quote, "I don't know if they will be signed, but there has been talk internally in WWE of late about Richard Holliday because of the story of his beating cancer, and in TAMA Tonga, who has been talked about there for quite some time." Now, Holliday announced that his cancer was in remission at the beginning of the month. He recently shared a post on Twitter confirming that he has returned to in-ring training. Previous reports had indicated that WWE was interested in both Tama Tonga and his brother Hikuleo. Tonga notably defeated Carl Anderson for the Never Openweight Championship at New Japan's Wrestle Kingdom 17 in January, while Anderson, of course, was under contract with WWE. Hikuleo defeated Jay White in a Loser Leaves Japan match in February, fueling speculation that White could have been heading to World Wrestling Entertainment before, though, he ultimately signed with AEW. Now, of course, again, this could imply that the hiring freeze is over or coming to an end soon. If that is the case, who would you like to see WWE sign? Let me know your thoughts as always. Now let's talk about Raw and SmackDown and the focus of the WWE officials when it comes to both shows moving forward. The area of focus for WWE management with regard to the current roster has now possibly been revealed. Following the WWE draft, the roster has been reinvigorated with a number of call-ups from NXT adding to the mix. Details of WWE's internal focus have now been revealed by Dave Meltzer in a recent report on the topic. Writing in the Wrestling Observer newsletter, Meltzer states, quotes, "There is a big internal focus right now to get younger age talent on Raw and SmackDown. WWE has quite a roster of young names, including Alexa Bliss, 31, Otis, 31, Butch, 29, Sonya Deville, 29, Amos, 29, Isla Dawn, 29, Liv Morgan, 28, Rhea Ripley, 26, and Dominic Mysterio, 26 among them. Recent call-ups from NXT, Elton Prince and Kit Wilson of Pretty Deadly are 26 and 28 respectively, with the pair making their SmackDown debut facing the Brawling Brutes members, Butch and Rid Holland, who is only 32 himself. So certainly the focus appears to be getting younger people on the roster and building for the future once again, with WWE being in somewhat of a rebuild phase of their main roster right now. Now, after Night of Champions this weekend, all eyes turned to Money in the Bank over here in the UK, in London at the O2 Arena. With Night of Champions set to take place this weekend, next week begins the build to Money in the Bank in London, England. Qualifiers for the matches are set to begin on next week's episode of Monday Night Raw, and we now know another name who may be set to be in the match. It was reported by WRKD Wrestling this week that Cody Rhodes is expected to be a part of the match in London this year, that being the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. In a follow-up, WRKD Wrestling is now reporting another Raw superstar that's rumored for the bout, that being Dominic Mysterio. The report notes that many backstage are high on Dominic and how he has grown as a performer over the past year. It was also previously reported by WRKD Wrestling that LA Knight was seen as one of the lead candidates for Money in the Bank this year, though there has not been an update on his status for the match as of right now. Again, those reports came out a lot earlier on this year, and as of really going into WrestleMania and coming out to WrestleMania, LA Knight hasn't been doing all of that much. So who would you say is maybe an early favourite for Money in the Bank? Who do you think could win the men's and women's Money in the Bank ladder matches? Let me know your thoughts as always. Bron Breakker. Yes, Bron Breakker is going to be challenging for the NXT Championship this weekend at Battleground, but Breakker wasn't actually called up during the recent WWE draft, and with Battleground looming, the subject of a call-up was once again addressed. Previously, it was reported that Breakker's current heel run in NXT was seen as impressive by higher-ups, hoping to continue cultivating his persona as a reason not to bring him to the main roster right now. With NXT losing a number of its heavy hitters during the recent draft, the possibility of losing Breakker following Battleground was raised during the media call with Shawn Michaels. Michaels explained that being a big hit was a good thing and expressed the belief that Breakker will remain on NXT for a while. He also said there were still some good matches for him left in the NXT roster as it currently stands. As I mentioned, Breakker is set to challenge Carmelo Hayes for the NXT Championship at Battleground this coming Sunday. So, do you agree with Shawn Michaels? Is it a case of there being plenty of matches left for Bron Breakker in NXT? And when do you think Breakker could be called up to the main roster? Now, Sami Zayn will be making his appearance, his first WWE Saudi Arabia Premium Live Event appearance this weekend at Night of Champions. Rumours that Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens would defend their WWE Tag Team titles against Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa at Night of Champions in Saudi Arabia were initially met with a lot of skepticism. While Zayn travelled to the country with WWE earlier on in his career, he hasn't been involved in any shows there under WWE's current deal with the Kingdom. All reports indicated that was due to Sami's Syrian heritage and tensions between the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia and the government of Syria. But those tensions have eased considerably in the past few weeks and months, opening the door for Zayn and Owens, who'd been sitting out of Saudi shows since 2018's Greatest Royal Rumble in solidarity with his tag team partner, longtime friend and fellow Quebecer, to work May 27's Premium Live event in Jeddah. It means a lot more than just a marquee matchup with WWE's biggest star and his up-and-coming cousin too. Arriving in Saudi Arabia before the show allowed Zayn, who is a Muslim, to undertake Umrah, which is a pilgrimage to the Islamic holy city of Mecca outside of Hajj season. The Hajj being one of the 5 pillars of Islam, a mandatory pilgrimage to Mecca, which only takes place during one 10-day period each year as determined by the Islamic calendar. SAMI missed this year's by about a month as it runs from June 26th to July 1st. He posted a tweet saying, quote, "Being a pro wrestler and being with WWE has taken me to places I never dreamt I'd get to see and do things I'd never thought I'd get to do. It has provided me a life filled with incredible experiences that I will cherish forever. This is the top of the list." There was an Arabic phrase at the end of his tweets as well, which can be translated to praise be to God or thank God. So Sami Zayn certainly having an unforgettable experience in his trip to Saudi Arabia this weekend. Now, Shawn Michaels has spoken about several of the NXT call-ups to the main roster. Many NXT stars made their way up to the main roster as part of the 2023 WWE draft. One of those names, one that stood out to most people, was Grayson Waller, who was drafted to the SmackDown brand as part of the supplemental draft. Waller was featured heavily during his time in NXT, including a mini feud with Shawn Michaels himself prior to NXT Stand and Deliver. Speaking on the NXT Battleground media call, Shawn spoke about Waller's call-up to SmackDown. Michaels praised the Australian as being mature, smart and bright before claiming he is everything you want in a WWE superstar. Waller made his SmackDown debut this past week, hosting the Grayson Waller Effect on SmackDown with guest AJ Styles. What Waller's going to be doing next on SmackDown, we don't know, but certainly he'll be a big miss on the NXT brand. Now, could we be set to see a secondary NXT Women's Championship coming to the developmental brand soon? Well, an update has been provided on the possibility of introducing a secondary Women's Championship for WWE NXT. With the draft seeing Indy Hartwell vacate the NXT Women's Championship and the NXT Women's Tag Team Champions Alba Fire and Isla Dawn being drafted to SmackDown, the topic of a secondary women's title was raised during the NXT Battleground media call. While the men's division has 4 championships at their disposal, the women's roster only has 2. Addressing this subject, Shawn Michaels revealed that it was an idea that he played with now and then, but feels that NXT give the women's roster a lot of storylines and more about developing the individuals. He would also say they lost a lot of veterans and leaders during the draft, resulting in a very young locker room. While not opposed to the idea of a secondary women's championship, he would prefer to have his women's roster vetted out, as he doesn't feel comfortable with how a secondary title would function on a young roster that may not be prepared for the championship role in NXT. While he considered the idea and appears to have it as a possibility, he's not ready to pull the trigger on the plan at the moment. The vacant NXT Women's Championship will see either Tiffany Stratton or Lyra Valkyria become the 100th woman to hold a championship in WWE on Sunday at Battleground. So again, certainly it's not something that Michaels hasn't considered. Of course, we do have a secondary women's championship in AEW right now with the TBS championship, but right now Shawn Michaels is holding off the idea when it comes to NXT. Now, one story coming out of WrestleMania when it comes to NXT has been the Dyad, the former grizzled young veterans, and their future not only with NXT but also WWE. During the NXT Battleground media call, Shawn Michaels was asked about the team of Jagger Reed and Rip Fowler, known as the Dyad in NXT, but previously known as James Drake and Zach Gibson of the grizzled young veterans. It had previously been reported that the pair had asked for their release from WWE, but that the release had not been granted. Shawn Michaels addressed the WWE stars asking for their release, saying that the pair were talents that he wanted to bring over from the UK. He wanted everyone who came out to WWE to have success, no matter who comes through the door, and wants them to have success in the business overall. Michaels admitted that he's fortunate to have had the success in his career that he had, and that there are opportunities for others to have success too. He stated that he understands how they both felt, but that there's no hard feelings and wants them to be prominent in a prominent role on the developmental brand. He also noted that as long as they want to continue to work, he would continue to use them on NXT. So they have said that they're not going to sign new contracts and they're going to leave WWE once their contracts expire, but as of right now, as long as they want to work, Shawn Michaels says, I'm going to use them. Finally, The Undertaker is going to be doing one dead man shows. It's always difficult for me to say that. It's a play on words. It's very good, but I always struggle to say it. And WWE has announced that the Hall of Famer, The Undertaker, will be hosting shows in the UK during Money in the Bank season. A press release said, quote, Undertaker One Dead Man show comes to London, Wolverhampton, Manchester and Glasgow this July. WWE today announced that the critically acclaimed Undertaker One Dead Man show will return to the UK this July, debuting in London, Wolverhampton, Manchester and Glasgow ahead of Money in the Bank. Undertaker One Dead Man show will feature The Phenom in an intimate setting, sharing never-before-heard stories from his Hall of Fame career and taking questions from the WWE Universe in attendance. Since its premiere, the show has sold out venues in Nashville, Philadelphia, Boston, San Antonio, Montreal, Las Vegas, Los Angeles and Cardiff. Undertaker One Dead Man show heads to the following UK cities this July. Saturday the 1st of July, Indigo at the O2 London. Sunday, July 2nd, the Civic at the Halls Wolverhampton. Monday, July 3rd, Albert Hall Manchester. Tuesday, July 4th, 2023, the O2 Academy in Glasgow. So you'll be able to get your tickets for that there. So The Undertaker bringing his show to the UK. But there you go, guys. It's the latest WWE news for you. Be sure to smash a like on the like button. Be sure to subscribe, bottom right-hand corner. As always, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I'll speak to you again very, very soon.
Hey guys, thank you for watching, listening, streaming, or however you come across this video today. Be sure to click on the video on the right there to watch our next video, or click the bottom there to subscribe, or the bottom right-hand corner. Thank you very much, and I'll speak to you again very soon.